dear friends, Bhupesh Anand once again. So we have covered several lectures in the mutual fund, and today I will be starting with lecture number 8. And no doubt today also I will be discussing with the practical aspects, because for question number 1 in your new syllabus examination, compulsory question is from practical part, and that too from mutual fund. So that's why I'm devoting 4 or 5 lectures specifically on the practical aspects. Hope you're enjoying it. So please take out your registers, because today lecture number 8 again I will be doing some practical aspects. So great morning mutual funds. Action speaks louder than words. I have written a quotation for you. Action speaks louder than words. Prove your worth. Now you have to prove your worth. So this is Bhupesh Anand. My dear friends, we have covered in the last lecture number 7 some two or three concepts in regard to calculation of return on investment. Concept number 19, return on investment. How to calculate a return on investment for an investor. And then in concept number 20th, I told you how to calculate holding period return. And then in concept number 21st, what is the meaning of yield on maturity? And today I will be telling you something addition to that, because then only you can easily able to attempt those questions. So today I will be basically covering two parts, two concepts. One is concept number 22 and second is concept number 23, because we have covered up to 21st in the last lecture. Lecture number 8, concept number 22. Types of dividend and growth schemes. The most important concept which we will be dealing today is types of dividend and growth schemes available to the unit holder, or which is being given by a mutual fund to the unit holders. So my dear friends, concept number 22 is the most important concept. Let me put 5 stars on this. I have already highlighted it, but this is very important concept which we are going to start with. And then concept number 23, Foreign Account Tax Compliance Act, FATCA. We will be discussing something about a new act which is being evolved in USA in regard to tax evasion for foreign investments. So basically my main emphasis in today's lecture will be what I mean by dividend and growth schemes. We have already covered that there are so many schemes which can be offered by a mutual fund to the unit holders. But within any scheme, the payout can be of 2 types. One is pay dividend and second is growth. So today I will be basically discussing the difference between growth and dividend. So let's start the journey. First point which you have to write down in concept number 22. My dear friends, please take out your registers. Please take out your calculator, and please take out your books as well, the books which I have given to you. And in addition to that, I have downloaded your examination papers which are there in my book also. CS Executive New Syllabus December 2018 and CS Executive New Syllabus June 2019 and CS Executive New Syllabus December 2019. So let me start with the journey. My dear friends, before I explain, it is better if you just note down these 2 or 3 slides. I have given in my book or as well, but the language is different. The concepts are same, but the point of view is different. So it is important that you should write down and you have to sit straight. Please sit straight. Concept number 22, types of dividend and growth schemes. It means there are 2 basically schemes which are being offered by mutual fund to their unit holders. One is dividend. It means we are giving something you as a dividend, at a regular interval of time, because mutual fund is a trust. All the earnings of the mutual fund will be distributed to the unit holders. Now they can be distributed or they can be reinvested, but this plan is differentiated. There are 2 types of plan. One is dividend. So write down A point. A mutual fund offers 2 types of schemes. This word is very important. 2 types of, I will say 2 types of plans rather than schemes. It is better if I use the word plans. A mutual fund offers 2 types of plans to its unit holders. A mutual fund offers 2 types of plans to its unit holders. One is dividend plan and second is growth plan. And within dividend, again, we have 3 options that I will be telling you in detail after some time. But just write down 2 plans. Plan number 1, dividend plan, and plan number 2, is growth plan. So these are the two plans within dividend. B point is dividend option. When I say dividend, it is just same as in case of a company. When companies are earning profits, then those profits are being distributed to the shareholders. That is named as dividend, and it is not compulsory for a company to give dividend. But in case of a mutual fund, it is necessary because that wealth, it belongs to unit holders, and it is a trust. So that dividend which is being given by a mutual fund to their unit holders at regular interval of time. At regular interval of time, that is named as dividend option. So you have to write on B point. Dividend option does not reinvest. Very simple, very simple. When I am giving you dividend, it means I am not reinvesting it. Mutual fund is not reinvesting it. Dividend option does not reinvest the profits made by the fund through its investments. Instead, it is given to the investors. It is being given to the investors that please take this money. This is dividend plan. Now within dividend, there can be dividend payout, there can be dividend reinvestment, there can be bonus. So those three schemes I will be telling you, because in December 2018, June 2019, December 2019, the comparison between these two dividend plans is there. That please suggest to the investor whether you should go for dividend payout plan or whether you should go for dividend reinvestment plan. So it is very important to understand the concepts. So I have prepared one case study for you. So before that case study, you have to write on C point. Growth schemes are those schemes in which profits made by mutual fund are reinvested. It means these are two opposites. Dividend and growth plans are opposite. When I say dividend, it means I will be paying you. When I say growth, it means I am not paying you. Rather, I am plowing back those profits. I am reinvesting those profits. That is named as growth scheme. So at least you are aware of now you are aware that what is the meaning of dividend and growth. And within dividend, we will be discussing that growth schemes are those schemes in which profits made by mutual fund are reinvested, plowed back into the scheme. Plowed back into the scheme. Now, D point is most important for your practical aspect as well as for theory. Because now the show begins. Dividend scheme can be of three types. Now, this is very important. The dividend scheme is of three types. The dividend scheme is of three types. First is dividend payout option. As the name indicates, in this mutual fund will be paying it to the unit holders. Now it depends upon so many factors that whether that unit holder wants to go for dividend payout option or whether for dividend reinvestment option or whether for bonus option, because the age of the investor, the needs of the investor, the existing liquidity of the investor, the employment status of the investor. Because in case a person is a retired person, so that person requires regular inflow. So that generally goes for dividend payout option. But if you are very young, and you have just started your journey as a professional, so your risk factor, your risk bearing capacity can be more. So you don't require the funds at regular intervals, so you can go for dividend reinvestment or growth. So within dividend there are three types of plans. One is dividend payout option, second is dividend reinvestment option, and third is bonus option. My dear friends, I have prepared a case study for you just to explain that what is the difference between dividend payout and dividend reinvestment and growth and bonus. Because once we are aware of that, then only I can easily solve December 2018 and June 2019 examination paper for you. Even you can, within few seconds. So for that, you have to sit straight and you have to write down this case study. Please, all of you who are sitting in the class also, please write down this case study. Very important, very important, very important. So in this case study, I have taken two scenarios. Of the same mutual fund, that before declaring dividend, what is the scenario, and after declaring dividend, what is the scenario, in case different schemes are there. So scenario one, before declaring dividend or before declaring bonus, I have assumed that let the number of units held be 100, 100, 100 and 100. I have prepared four columns. One column is for growth, second is for dividend payout, third is for dividend reinvestment, fourth is for bonus. No, I have taken into account that let the NAV of all these plans be same. but in actual they are different. But because for understanding purpose, I have taken this case study. So let the NAV of growth plan, because this is prior to dividend issue, the growth plan, let the NAV of dividend payout plan, let the NAV of dividend reinvestment plan, let the NAV of bonus plan be 10, 10, 10, and 10, and let the number of units be 100, 100, 100, and 100, and let the dividend per unit is 1 rupee per unit. It means if you are holding 1 unit, you will be getting 1 rupee. And if you are holding 100 rupees, 100 units, then you will be getting 100 rupees. So I have assumed some figure, because then only we can, we can distinguish between these different plans. So please write down the facts. It is very important that you should write down the facts. Suppose dividend per unit declared is rupee 1, and let the swap ratio of the bonus plan be 1 is to 10. Now, in case of bonus plan, the difference is the swap ratio is given to be that how many shares will be issued for how many. That is 1 is to 10. So, one is growth. When I say growth, all the amount is reinvested. We are neither giving dividend, we are neither reinvesting dividend, we are not giving any bonus. So, that is a growth. And NAV in case of growth is highest. In case of dividend payout, mutual fund is giving dividend, is paying actual dividend to the unit holders. And in case of dividend reinvestment, no doubt mutual fund will be declaring dividend. No doubt the amount will be calculated, but that amount is not being given to the unit holders. Rather, that amount of dividend which they have calculated will be reinvested on the basis of NAV existing on that particular date when dividend is declared. So, in case of dividend reinvestment, as the name indicates, dividend reinvestment, that dividend will be reinvested again in the mutual fund on the basis of NAV which is existing on the date of declaration of that dividend. You getting your point? And in bonus, one swap ratio will be given to you, and on the basis of that swap ratio, number of units will be issued. So let the swap ratio be 1 is to 10. It means for every 10 units, you will be getting 1 unit as bonus. And logically speaking, the value of NAV is highest in case of growth, and value of NAV will be lowest in case of bonus, and it is in between, growth and bonus in for dividend payout and dividend reinvestment. That just for understanding purpose I am telling you. So I hope that you must have written this concept. Now the point is, if this mutual fund has declared the dividend, and the dividend declaration is 100 rupees, because 100 units are being held by all these investors, and rupee 1 per unit is the dividend. So total dividend which they are getting is 100. But in case of growth, there is no dividend, no reinvestment, no bonus. All the amount is reinvested, no dividend is being declared. So just see, in the growth, NAV is highest, that is 20 rupees. And in case of dividend payout, second column, and in case of growth also, the units are same. 100 units are in the beginning and 100 units at the end. But in case of dividend payout, again units are same. 100 are being held in the beginning and 100 units will be at the end. But my dear friends, dividend will be declared, and that dividend will be 100 rupees. But the amount of NAV will be lower in case of dividend payout as compared to growth, and that is 19 rupees. So second column is in regard to dividend payout. NAV is 19 rupees. Units are 100. Dividend received in cash 100. No additional units will be given in case of dividend payout, because as the name indicates. But if the plan is dividend reinvestment, now listen to me carefully. If the plan is dividend reinvestment, it means the amount of dividend which you are entitled for, we will not give you cash. Rather, new number of units will be issued to you for that amount of dividend on the basis of NAV which exists as on that date. So suppose that NAV as on date of declaration be 19 rupees. I assume. So 100 rupees is the amount of dividend which I will be giving. So 100 upon 19, that comes to 5.263. It means 5.263 new number of units will be distributed by the mutual fund to the unit holders in case of dividend reinvestment plan. So total number of units after dividend reinvestment will be 100 units of the beginning plus 5.263. That comes to 105.263. So just I want to tell you the difference, that what is the difference between dividend payout and dividend reinvestment. And the third is bonus. That is very simple. Swap ratio is given to you. 1:10 is the swap ratio. For every 10 shares, 1 share will be issued. For every 100 shares, 10 shares will be issued. So total number of units will be 110 after declaration of bonus. Just see, and the value of NAV is 18.18. That is lowest as compared to growth, as compared to dividend reinvestment, as compared to dividend payout. In case of bonus, the value is lowest. Now, this is not a rule, but still, as a general, I have just told you. Because I want to just tell you that what is the difference between dividend payout and dividend reinvestment. Hope you are getting the things. Now, on the basis of these concepts, I will be solving now CS Executive New Syllabus December 2018 examination question, CS Executive New Syllabus June 2019 examination, CS Executive New Syllabus December 2019 examination, and even I can now solve CA final new syllabus this November 2019 examination question. All can be easily solved because I know now the difference between these different plans. So let's start the journey. So I am taking down, this is my question number June to December 2018. Okay, where is December 2018? So this is December 2018. You can easily download it from your Google. It is available, or even in the ICSI site it is available. So first question, new syllabus. Here it is given December. Here it is given December 2018. Okay. Now this is December 2018. New syllabus December 2018. Total number of questions are 6. You have to attempt all the questions. A mutual fund has a NAV of 11.50, 11 rupees 50 paisa in the beginning of the year. At the end of the year, NAV increases to 12 rupees 10 paisa. It means I know that NAV is being calculated daily basis because it depends upon the market value of the investment. So in the beginning of the year, NAV is 11.50, and at the end of the year, NAV is 12.10. Meanwhile, the fund distributes rupees 80 as dividend and 70 as capital gains. It means within that year, some distribution is being also given by the mutual fund to the unit holders. That is 1 rupee 50 paisa. Out of which 80 paisa is the dividend and 70 paisa is the capital gain. Okay. So what is the fund return during the year? The first part is you have to just calculate return on investment. Very easy. We have discussed in the last lecture number 7 that how we can calculate return on investment. When I say return on investment, I mean NAV at the end minus NAV in the beginning plus any distributions divided by the amount invested, that is NAV in the beginning into 100. I can easily calculate rate of return. So the first part is easy. We can prepare a timeline. We will prepare x-axis. We will write on NAV in the beginning. We will write on NAV at the end. Then we will see how much are the distributions. And then the logical formula we will use without even learning it. I can easily remember that what is the formula for calculating the return. But second part is very important. What had these distributions been reinvested, now they are comparing, if the company is not distributing that 80 paisa or 70 paisa, had these distributions, it means those distributions which are by mutual fund to the unit holders. Had these distributions been reinvested at an average of 11 rupees 80 paisa, what is the return for 200 units? So you have to calculate for 200 units. Then what is the return for 200 units? If you would have invested 11.80, then how much is the return? How much is the return? So the point is, we can easily calculate it. First part is very easy. I have prepared for you. Just see, just have a look on this. We are doing CS Executive New syllabus December 2018, question number 1A. CS Executive New syllabus June 2019, question number 1A. So I have prepared a timeline for you. So this is a timeline on the basis of which I have written 11.50 in the beginning, because NAV in the beginning is 11 rupees 50 paisa, NAV at the end is 12 rupees 10 paisa. And within that, within the year, there are two distributions. One is 80 paisa and second is 70 paisa. Now I have to calculate rate of return. So rate of return is HPR, holding period return, is NAV at the end minus NAV in the beginning plus any distributions. That is 12.10 minus 11.50. That is my NAV at the end minus NAV in the beginning plus distributions. That 1 rupee 50 paisa is the distribution divided by how much amount I have invested. And I have invested 11 rupees 50 paisa into 100. That comes to 18.26 percentage. It means if an investor has invested 100 rupees, then that investor will be getting 18 rupees 26 paisa as a return from that investment. 18 rupees 26 paisa as an investment. This is my part A. But in part B, if the investor has gone for dividend reinvestment plan and he is holding 200 units, then how much is the return? Very simple. Very simple. I have prepared for you in the next slide. Now, for 1 unit, he is getting 1 rupee 50 paisa, that is 80 paisa plus 70 paisa as a distribution. So, for 200 units, he will be getting 300 rupees. But he is not taking back those 300 rupees because this is dividend reinvestment. So, how much units he will be? He will be getting more, 300 divided by, now that 300 divided by, how many units? How many units? The NAV. NAV is 11.80. It is again given to me that at the time of declaration of dividend, the NAV which was there in the market, that is 11.80. So that for that 300 rupees, how many units will be issued? So I will be doing 300 divided by 11.80, that comes to 25.4237 units. It means in addition to 200 units, he will be given 25.4237 units. It means total units which he will be holding at dividend reinvestment plan will be 200 plus 25.4237. That comes to 225.4237. So I have written there. Just see. Just see. In the beginning, he has 200 units at the rate of 11.50. At the end, he has 225.4237 units at the rate of 12.10. Then how we can calculate the return value of the units in the beginning? Now I cannot calculate for 1 unit because number of units are different. Number of units are different, so I have to calculate it on totality basis. How much is the total value of 225.4237 units at the end? That is, I will be multiplying with NAV at the end minus 200 units into NAV in the beginning divided by NAV in the beginning into 100. So this will be the formula because number of units are different in the beginning and at the end. So I cannot calculate for 1 unit. You're getting my point? So that comes to 18.59 percentage. So please write down, my dear friends. We are doing CS Executive News Labels December 2018 examination. 18.59 percentage. It means there are two plans. One is dividend payout and second is dividend reinvestment. In case of dividend payout, I am getting 18.26 percentage as a return. And in case of dividend investment, the unit holder is getting 18.59 percentage as a return. Now please tell me which scheme is better, which plan is better. It is but obvious that if an investor goes for dividend reinvestment plan, then that is more better as compared to dividend payout. So in this case, 18.59% is the return as per dividend reinvestment. So I have just calculated for you for December 2018 examination. Now I am going to June 2019. Let's see June 2019 examination. That again I have given in my book also. In case you have this book, please open this chapter list of abbreviations, last chapter, and in this chapter, that is in page number 257, I have given after abbreviations June 2019 new syllabus examination, and you can directly see it from there. I am discussing first question from CS Executive new syllabus. This is June 2019, because I just want to tell you what actually, the difference between dividend payout and dividend reinvestment. So let's start with the journey. That is core page number. That is page number. Let's see. Okay, so here it is. Page number June 2019 new syllabus, page number 283. I am doing first question, answer all the questions, and all the questions are compulsory. You have to go for that. A mutual fund having 300 units. First question, A part. With the NAV of 8.75 and 9.45 at the beginning and at the end. It means I am given with the NAV in the beginning as well as NAV at the end. The mutual fund has given two options. I have just told you there are two options and you have to compare out of those two options. First is pay 75 per unit as dividend and 60 per unit as capital appreciation. It means first is dividend payout, or these distributions are to be reinvested at average NAV of 8.65. It means if you are going for dividend reinvestment plan, then you will be given with a new number of units, and that too at the NAV which is appearing as on date of declaration of dividend. That is 8.65. Now you have to calculate on the basis of that what is the difference between dividend payout and dividend reinvestment. So you will be calculating rate of return, and then those rate of returns will be compared, and then you will be giving the recommendation. Hope you can easily do it. So that's why I have done that case study, just to explain you what is the difference between dividend payout and dividend reinvestment. So now after that I will be discussing the last concept of today's lecture, and that is concept number 23, which relates to Foreign Account Tax Compliance Act. No doubt this is given by me to you in the book also, but still you have to write on this FATCA, this new act which is being evolved in USA. That what is the meaning of Foreign Account Tax Compliance Act? FATCA. It is a tax law that compels, that makes necessary, that makes a duty, that makes an obligation for US citizens at home and abroad. It means if a US citizen is residing in USA, or if US citizen is residing in India or anywhere of the world, any type of citizen of USA, whether residing in USA or outside USA, to file annual report, to file annual report on any foreign account holdings. If it means if Mr. Smith is a citizen of USA and he is residing in Los Angeles, or Mr. Smith is citizen of USA, but he is not residing in Los Angeles, rather he is residing in Pakistan or Hindustan. Even then, Mr. Smith is liable to give the declaration to USA authorities that how much is the holding. Now, this is done because they want to save that tax evasion. So, this type of declaration is to be given by US citizens. FATCA, Foreign Act, Foreign Account Tax Compliance Act seeks to eliminate. What is the objective behind that? Seeks to eliminate tax evasion. The main objective behind this act is seeks to eliminate the tax evasion by American individuals and businesses that are investing, operating, and earning taxable income abroad. Very simple. No doubt I have given in my book also as well. Let's have a look on this. Question number, this I have given in my question number 4. I have divided all the chapters into concepts. Just see to have a look on this. There are, I think, in mutual fund, I have given 4 or 5 concepts in my theory questions. And on the basis of concept number two, methods and procedures, I have prepared question number first in regard to FATCA. Just see, please take out my book, and it is on this question number, concept number 2, method and procedure. Write short notes on the following: Foreign Account Tax Compliance Act. Foreign Account Tax Compliance Act. The Foreign Account Tax Compliance Act is a tax that compels US citizens at home and abroad to file annual reports on any foreign account holdings. FATCA has endorsed in 2010 as part of this. Now FATCA seeks to eliminate tax evasion by American individuals and businesses that are investing, operating, and earning taxable income abroad. It means now US citizens have to make a declaration that how much investment is they are holding in abroad or in USA. So like this, we have completed today's lecture number 8. We are still into practical part. In next lecture number 9, very interesting lecture. We'll be discussing with entry load. We'll be discussing with public offering price. We'll be discussing with SEBI guidelines. We'll be discussing with exit load. We'll be discussing with repurchase price. I will be discussing with so many other new additional points. But a very interesting and easy lecture. Hope you are enjoying it. Be happy, be jolly, be cheerful.